Okay, for our next Pesach Dvar Torah on the Haggadah, we are going to actually discuss the opening to Magid, right? Halach Ma'anya. This is the bread of affliction. So we have two questions that we're going to ask. Question number one is, why does the Haggadah start with Halach Ma'anya? And number two, why does it only focus on matzah when there are three very important aspects of the Pesach Seder, which is Pesach, matzah, and maror? So those are our two questions. To start off answering this, we have to do a little bit of a history lesson. We know from various sources that the Haggadah was put into its original form around the time of the beginning of the second Beit HaMikdash, right? So that would be around 516 BCE. That's what our scholars have told us. It then was added on to by various Tanaim, which, if you remember from class, the period of the Tanaim is the year 70 to 200 CE. And it was added on to by more Amoraim from 200 to 500 CE. And then it came over, and then the Gaonim and everybody else, and it came to a pretty much definitive text, as conclusive as as similar to what we have today, by the year 1100. So about 900 years ago, with Rav Amram Gaon's version. So then there's this really rich history. You can see there's like a really rich history to the formation of the text of the Haggadah that we have today. When was Halach Ma'anya put into the Haggadah, however? The answer to that question is actually the destruction of the second Beit HaMikdash. So 70 CE is when it was added in. So what it speaks about in Halach Ma'anya is all that we have left that we can possibly do. Think about that for a second. Pesach, meaning the Korban Pesach, can only be brought in the Beit HaMikdash. You need a temple in Yerushalayim to bring a Korban. And Maror, which is the biblical commandment of Maror, was to be brought with the Korban Pesach. So the same thing applies. If the Beit HaMikdash is destroyed, we are no longer able to offer the Korban Pesach and the Maror in the appropriate way, which leaves us with matzah. Matzah, of the three things, is the only one that does not have to be brought in the Beit HaMikdash, or is not reliant upon the existence of the Beit HaMikdash. So answer number one to our question about why matzah is really just a function of the time period that we were in when this was composed. All we got left was matzah. So we answered why specifically it focuses on matzah. But let's answer the question of why we start Magid with Halach Ma'anya. And if you look at the words themselves, Kol dichvin yete v'yechol, kol ditzrich yete v'yifsach. Anyone who wishes should come and drink and eat, and all who need a place should come have a seder and come to mine or yours or whoever's doing the talking. It's literally an invitation to all the people who need a place for Pesach Seder to come into your house and to partake in the Pesach Seder with you. So it's kind of like the Haggadah sending us a message that we should be opening our homes to anyone who might need a place for their Pesach Seder. But there is so that's our literal reason for why it would start with Halach Ma'anya, because you get invited into a Seder, and that's why it should be at the beginning. But another reason is based on a Gemara, which tells us that the Haggadah is supposed to start with Ganut and end with Shevach. That the Haggadah is supposed to start where Bnei Yisrael is in a place of desolation or being of downtrodden, and to work your way up to grace, to a loftier place. And so we have to begin in this state of disgrace. Well, what's more disgraceful than the fact that all we have is this bread of affliction, because the Beis HaMikdash was destroyed, and we can't do Pesach, the Korban Pesach, or Maror anymore in their proper way. So now all we have left is matzah. Like that's a very sad thing for us. So we're acknowledging the reality of the fact that we don't have the Beit HaMikdash. And as we go through the Seder, we are asking Hashem to bring about the final Geulah and get us to a place of redemption and end the Seder at a much higher place And that's exactly, so we're basically following the directions of the Gemara. So we asked our question, just to recap, we asked our two questions on halach ma'anya. Number one, why is it located here at the beginning of the Seder? And number two, why is it only talking about matzah? And then we answered them in reverse. We mentioned about how matzah is specific to what happened in the time period of the destruction of the second Beit HaMikdash. And then we went into two reasons for why halach ma'anya is placed at the beginning of the Haggadah, both a practical reason about inviting people into your Seder, as well as a spiritual and more lofty reason having to do with the Gemara that tells us how to begin and end our Seder. Hope you enjoyed the Dvar Torah. See you next time.